Hi everyone, and welcome to Club Live here at Club at 22 The Rangers podcast. We are live on YouTube tonight, so as always, get your comments in. We'll do our best to answer a couple of questions as well. Also, if you could like, share, and subscribe, that would be much appreciated. We are very, very close to the 6,000, which would be good to hit by the end of the season. So tonight we're missing a few members. We were nearly missing me today, but I'm dog sitting my puppy at the moment, so he's in the room with me, currently sleeping beside me. So hopefully that lasts for the duration. But yes, only one guest tonight, and that is Scott Carney. How are you?
I'm good. I don't think you can call it dog sitting if it's your dog.
No, it is my dog, isn't it?
I don't think I can say that I'm babysitting. Like, I don't think.
It's because my missus is out, so that's it. It feels like that.
So you're on your own. You've got the fear, mate, of being left on your own. Yeah. No, I'm good, mate. Long week at work. Glad it's over, and another week in Scottish football where we all shake our heads from side to side over and over and over again. But yeah, it's not good to be here. Hello, everybody in the chat. It's good to see everybody. And before we go any further, because I forgot to say to Ali, because we're dead professional, there is still tickets for our live show. Our end of season live show will be at the Loudon Tavern, Friday the 31st of May 2024. Very much looking forward to seeing you all there. Hopefully, all you that have bought your tickets so far anyway, and we've had a good response, and we're hoping to sell the place out as much as we possibly can. So if you can join us, tickets are £10, as I said. You can scan that QR code that is on the screen right now, or you can go to the link that's in the description for this podcast, and you'll be able to get your tickets there. Come and join us for our end of season show, Friday the 31st of May 2024. Tickets are £10. And Ali, I don't know if you're aware about this, but you have promised to buy everybody a pint. I don't know, because I know you don't really...
I did.
Oh, did you?
I heard that for Haymarch. What Haymarch got wrong was I'd get everyone a pie at the Loudon, but right. Get yourselves along, because it'll pay for Haymarch's next adventure. He's currently at the Masters, is he, at the moment?
Yeah,
in Augusta?
Yeah,
unbelievable.
Honestly, unbelievable. He's a well-travelled man, is our Ryan. So yes, he's I don't know how he does it, man. Honestly, I don't know how his work let him away with it, to be honest. But
So
each to their own.
If you're watching the Masters and you see a Rangers flag, that is Mr. Haymarch there. So.
Or a man apocalyptic drunk trying to hold up a Rangers flag. That'll probably be Ryan as well.
Yeah, so I hope Ryan's enjoying himself. I'm pretty sure he's not listening to two of us tonight.
Did you see the weather? Like, it's like 24, 25, 26 degrees, and I'm like, oh, honestly, man, away you go. Honestly, but actually, well, he's got older kids now, so I'm thinking logic in that is when my child gets older, maybe I get to jet set the world. That's what I'm thinking.
That's a long way away, can't they?
That's true. That's true.
But yeah. Hopefully we'll see Ryan soon when he's back from his umpteenth holiday. But into the podcast, Karen. Let's get into the topic of discussion that has been here this week. Obviously, we did Club Deck Corner. We kind of previewed the Dundee game. I was in Dundee the day before as well. It rained a bit, to be honest, but it was nothing torrential. The usual. There was a pitch inspection, Carney, at 11 o'clock. Was it Don Robertson, I think it was the referee, went out. He's seen them out, bouncing balls, come out to Sky Sports, said the pitch was playable at that point, but the forecast was there was to be some rain. They would redo it at 3:30. There was a small bit of rain in Dundee, Carney, and shock horror, the game was postponed again. I don't know where we start, mate, Carney. I mean, they've got their directors and that. One came out and he blamed global warming. Apparently, the rain, there's 30% more rain this year or something. But what I would say in that, Carney, is I don't know why they come out with this Dundee, because they don't help themselves, because there is a ground across the road in Dundee United who have a perfectly fine park. And also, I think there was a team of firemen that were playing the same night as Rangers should have played in Dundee, and their game went ahead. So, what's your reaction on another fiasco up in Dundee?
Well, I learned something new this week, that localised climate change seems to be a thing, and it can be so like localised, mate, that it's actually just one stadium. It's like the blueprint of a stadium. It's remarkable how that's happened. Look, hand on heart, mate, every one of us knew that game was going to get cancelled. Every single one knew. Looking at the forecast, even with the rainfall that was expected, we all knew it was going to get cancelled, and it's now become a farce. It really has become a farce. Dundee have not played 5 of their home games. 30% of the games have been postponed due to rain. Now, we live in Scotland. It tends to rain quite a lot in Scotland. Well, more often than not, you're going to get some rain. And I released a tweet about it. This is just as much the SPFL board's fault as it is Dundee's. They should not have been allowed to get away with this. The standard of pitches in Scotland is deteriorating and has been for a while. You think of St Johnstone's, you think of these plastic pitches that we've allowed into our top flight leagues, which should never have happened. The state of Hampden as it's been in previous seasons as well, and obviously now the Dundee pitch. In my opinion, and as I say, I'm not going to go full on give Rangers the 3 points. I don't believe that's viable in any way. But from when the first game was cancelled, then they played that game at the weekend, and straight away the Motherwell manager, Motherwell they played, was it Motherwell Hibs they played?
Yeah, Motherwell.
Motherwell manager said we probably shouldn't have been playing football on that pitch, even though the media and sports scene or whatever else said, the game is okay to play on. We've seen some great football and that on it, which is just nonsense. From then, we all knew this game isn't going to go ahead again, and nothing was done about it. The board, the SPFL board, were quite happy just to sit there and go, let's just see what happens, Let's keep our fingers crossed that it's not going to rain, which isn't really a contingency plan in any way, shape or form. So for it to be postponed again, it puts everybody out. It puts the supporters out, and the first and foremost, they're the ones that I feel for the most. Guys that have had to take 2 half days from their work to get up to Dundee to have to plan. It should never have been allowed to go this far. It should never have been allowed to go this far. I say now you're left at the rest of the world looking at Scottish football going, because it rained, you can't play football? Is that really a thing in Scotland? And it's another example of Scottish football hating itself to death. It really is. We are happy to let Doncaster sit and take 400 grand as a wage. Every team in Scotland's happy to sit and let this happen, apart from Rangers, who are going, hang on a second, this doesn't seem quite right. The game's not getting run quite properly here. Don't get me wrong, I know Motherwell and Hibs have kind of upped their noise in terms of how unhappy they are about the situation that we've seen. But it's a farce, mate, an absolute farce. And for this guy to come out and try and blame 35% more rain and a climate change, and then you literally zoom out the drone from Dens Park and you see a bowling green of a pitch like a stone throw down the road. I'm not having it. I'm really not having it. They deserve everything thrown at them, Dundee. They really do. It should never have got this far. I think it's outrageous that the club, as in Rangers, have made so many proposals about how this game could have went ahead in terms of change of venue, in terms of, and not Ibrox before any Moonhowler says that, and also the Moonhowlers that think that we didn't want that game to go ahead. I don't know one person of a Rangers persuasion that didn't want Rangers to play that game. I don't know anyone. So, but yeah, alternative venues, even offering it to play it last night instead of playing it Wednesday night, and every one of them was rejected because it would show that the Dundee and the SPFL have kind of backed down to Rangers' demands, and it's absolutely pathetic. It really is. And when you've got Charlatans running your game, this is the kind of stuff that tends to happen. And Sky have now had 2 cancelled games that they've lost viewers to. That they were meant to have watching there. You think how many people must tune in for a Rangers game on Sky? Must be quite significant. So yeah, now it's the biggest bit I'm upset about it now is we've got to play it next week. We don't actually know where. Might be Dens Park, might not be. Might be behind closed doors, might not be. We've got no idea. But we also now have to play a game on the week of the semi-final, and we're the only one of the 4 teams that are in the semi-final that have to play 2 games in a week. I just can't understand how we are the ones that are going to lose out from this after Dundee being incapable of getting a game of football on their home turf. It's bad, mate. It's a really bad look, and it's very embarrassing.
That is, and even on the back of it, you've got Talk Sport. We're going on about it all day in terms of Rangers didn't want to play the game the week leading up to the Old Firm, which was utter garbage. Rangers
just
are desperate
nonsense.
to play that game.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the stories coming out, it's nonsense. Rangers want to play the game. Rangers are desperate to play the game. And the problem is, I was trying to explain to my boss down in England, and they find it quite hard to. It's quite hard to explain to them down south what's happening up here and how our league works in terms of it goes into. It splits into two sixes, but next week's the only week it can be played, Carney, and it has to be played. But not even next week. Going forward, I mean, Dundee are sitting. I think Dundee are sitting sixth at the moment. I think Dundee are away at Aberdeen this weekend, and I think if Dundee beat Aberdeen, they're guaranteed top six, regardless of the Rangers result. So I think they need to beat Aberdeen. I'm pretty sure they do. But even going into wherever Dundee fall, if they finish in the top six or bottom six, they're going to have another 5 games to play. You don't know what the weather's going to be like, and you've only got so many weeks. There'll be a midweek game as well with those 5 weeks game left. So it's an utter farce, Carney. And the reason they're not doing anything to that park, which I said on Club Deck Corner, was they're moving to a new stadium soon, Dundee. They're in the process of it going through. It's been submitted to build a new stadium. So they're doing nothing to Dens Park because they don't see the point of spending money in a park that they're leaving. But they should be. I don't know what they'll do. They'll get a fine, and that's it.
Yeah, they'll get a fine if you're lucky, mate. They will get a fine if you're lucky. I think I get that they're moving stadium, but it's still unacceptable not to maintain the standards of your pitch. There has to be some form of rule brought in that your pitch can't fall below a standard. And the fact that, and no disrespect to the firemen of Dundee that were playing an amateur football game, the fact that they can play a game of football, but the professional top flight league in Scotland can't. I mean, I think that tells its own story. I really do think it tells its own story. And I fully back the board's statement that released. It was hard worded. They didn't hold any punches, they didn't miss them and hit the wall, and I thought, yeah, I'm all for that. I really am all for that, because we can't continue to let, it's okay, we'll just play it, because I know by hook or by crook it will get played next week, be it wherever it's going to need to be, it will happen next week, but it shouldn't have got to this point. It should not have got to this point. And what if we were due to play Dundee this Wednesday, right? We were due to play them just before the split, and all of a sudden there was a torrential downpour and you couldn't play on that pitch. What then? What would not even horrendous downpour? If it was spitting for a couple of hours, you can't play football on that pitch. Then what? We'll better go into the split. What, you cancel the split? Another reason why the split, in my opinion, should be abolished. It shouldn't be anywhere near Scottish football. I can't stand it. But yeah, like, it's just all these things. Oh, it's okay. We'll just keep muddling through. But for an image of Scottish football, mate, it's bad. Really, really is bad.
I quite like JD's comment. Dundee hosting Marty Pello tonight. Feel wet.
That's because you like wet, though, isn't it?
You like wet, to be honest. I know some of the stuff on Twitter this week about Dundee's Park, and it's just been brilliant for that. But it's an utter farce, Carney, and as you say, it's to be played next Wednesday. They'll be played somewhere, wherever it's played. We don't know where it's going to be played, which is ridiculous to say that at this point. We don't know where the game's going to be played.
Yeah, based on the pressure, it looks like there'll be a decision made by noon on Tuesday, no matter what. But again, it's affected us in terms of training and all that. Look, I could go on and on about it. I just can't believe, like, I'm kind of like struggling to think this is professional football. Like, there is under 14s games that are better organised than this. Like, and this guy's getting paid $400,000, man, $400,000 a year. For what? For absolutely what? It's so poor. But it should never have got to this point. It really shouldn't have, and they will get a fine. And I would imagine if there is a game and it's going to get played behind closed doors, then every fan's going to need to be reimbursed for their ticket. Absolutely no doubt about that. And Dundee won't get any money for the game, and they've wasted everybody's time. The club will be out of pocket as well, because we've travelled up there, put a full team in a hotel for 2 weeks, or 2 nights over 2 weeks, and yeah, we're left without a game of football being played. Farcical, mate. Absolute joke. But as I say, when you've got clowns running your game, don't be surprised when you've got a circus.
Yeah. Welcome to Scottish football. If there's anybody from England watching tonight, going, what the hell's going on up there? But That's what it is. But yes, we will find out next week. The only thing I can say about next week is the weather does look dry next week, Carney. But as you say, it just takes one shower in Dundee and that park will be
done.
covered. So,
yeah.
So we will wait and see.
If a groundsman's walking around there and he accidentally drops his bottle of water, mate, that game's going to get postponed.
Yeah. So, yeah, and it's on Sky next week again. Sky must be turning their hair out going, what is going on here? So...
Again, as well, and we criticised Doncaster for how poor a TV deal that we got. No bloody wonder. Look at what he's running. Look at what he's letting happen. It's absolutely bonkers. Bonkers.
Yeah, that is. But we'll wait and see what happens next week. But yes, moving on. Rangers dropped their usual emails round about this time, Canny. The first one that came out, which I didn't put in the agenda, but they sent us an email the other week. My jersey will be coming out with accounts soon. I think it's around about the 1st of May. I don't know. It could be already out. I'm not sure, but that is coming out. But the big one is season ticket renewals, which depends what you're on. If you're on the 4-month payments, it will be coming out the 1st of May, June, July, and August. Looking at it, it looks like it's going up 5%. Which is round about where it goes up each season, to be honest, Carney. I don't think they'll struggle to sell season tickets, Rangers, at all. There's a big waiting list there, which we know of. But a 5% increase, I think it's fair, to be honest. What do you think about it?
Yeah, fair. Yeah, fair. It's not too much. It's not too little either. We've got to understand that I don't understand the cost of living and all that. I do understand that, but the club are there to make money. At the end of the day, the board are there to make sure the club is financially viable, it's self-sustainable. So I was expecting around 5%, mate. I'm not going to lie, I was expecting it. I think it's fair enough. I don't think they'll struggle to sell season tickets, as you said, mate. I will be renewing mine. I am 100% sure you'll be renewing yours. It's not really a conversation that we ever have between us, mate, about you renewing your season ticket next year. So yeah, the waiting list is still huge. But obviously we are doing stuff to the stadium as well in terms of better disabled access, disabled facilities for watching the game, adding slightly a few more seats, trying to expand the stadium where we can without pretty much knocking the place down and starting all over again. So they're going to have to make money somewhere. So on this occasion, for once, I'll go, 5%. That's fair enough. We don't have to talk about my jersey tonight, do we? Because I don't know if I can. Don't know if I can. Yeah.
No, that is not on the agenda. I know in terms of semis and finals, we'll get on to something which kind of relates to that going forward and relates to obviously the game on Sunday. But I just thought I'd mention the season tickets. Everyone will be aware of it because they would have got their email dropped into their inbox. It is usually around about the 1st of May, and it is. So they'll be taking all that money out of our accounts, Rangers. So I'll look forward to that when it happens. But moving on, Carney, the coefficient in terms of European football for Scotland took a bit of a bash last night in terms of Victoria Plzeň of the Czech Republic. I think went through, I don't know, I'm trying who they were playing last night in the Europa Conference League. I don't know who they played. Was it Fiorentina or something? I'm not sure. I'm not sure, but from their result, basically, it's put us down in terms of the league standings, which now means that the winner of the Premiership this year in Scotland will not get an automatic buy-in to the Champions League, which is disappointing. Obviously, yep. Rangers have done well, or have won the most coefficient points in the last 5 years, Carney, out of all the teams in Scotland. I know we didn't have a great run in the Champions League that season, but outside that, in Europa League, I think we've done fantastically well. But it's these other teams, Celtic included, to be honest, but these other teams like your Hibs, your Hearts, your Aberdeens, Motherwells and all that fall into these that just let it down for Scottish football, Carney, and it looks like whoever finishes first in the league is going to have to go through a qualifier to get into the Champions League.
Yeah, it looks like it, mate. And I think you said we've won the most over the last 5 seasons. We have, and if you combine the rest of Scottish football over the 5 seasons, we've got more points than all of them combined, which I think tells you how good our European runs have been in comparison to the rest of the league. Yeah, I say I'm not just doing it to have a dig, but Celtic should be doing much better in Europe than what they do. I think we've all seen the stat about Brendan Rodgers about how many games he went without a win in the Champions League, and that doesn't help matters. It really doesn't. And for the state of Scottish football, it's really not great. I think Aberdeen were third, I think, and then it's Hibs, Hearts, and then the rest. But yeah, it's not good. It really isn't good. And again, it's another thing that, in terms of Scottish football and the way that the money's getting reinvested into it, and I suppose it's all leading back to the SPFL board again. There's a surprise, but the sponsorship deals that we don't get, the fiasco with the Cinch deal that we got, the fiasco with the Sky deal that we've entered into. Yeah, it's not great. It really isn't great, and for the runs that we've had in Europe, and yes, well, look, admittedly, as you said, our Champions League run was dire, really, really poor. But what we've done then after it has been good. In the Europa League, it's been a quite a successful competition for us. Obviously, we've not won it, but we've still had good runs in it. It's still been good for points, still been good for income for the club. But yeah, now it's time for the rest of Scottish football to maybe help Rangers out a little bit, because we are now below the Czech Republic, isn't it? That's it. So the Czech Republic now are now above us. So it's not great. It really isn't great. Not when you're right next door to the behemoth that is the English Premier League. So no, it's not great. I don't think it's a good look again for Scottish football, and it's unfortunate, mate, that next year's champions are not guaranteed a place in the Champions League. It's it kind of sums up Scottish football just now, really, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's disappointing, but we need to wait and see what happens. Obviously, the format of European football changes next season, I think, and you go into that big league table thing where you play 8 games or something. I've not really looked into it, to be honest, Carney, but it's a wacky games you play, so I look forward to all that money coming at my account by Rangers, regardless of what one we're in. So we'll wait and see that. But I just thought I'd mention it tonight, because obviously it came out because of last night's... they got a 0-0 draw in their first leg or something. So, we'll just need to wait and see what happens. There's still a pathway into the Champions League. It's not as if we can't get in. There's still a pathway.
This has been floated around for as long as I can remember, mate. As long as I can remember, JD's asked, if we were offered to join the English League, would you take it? Now, I don't think it's ever going to happen. I think it's a complete non-starter. I really do. No. I don't think England would even. They
wouldn't want us to
entertain it. No, they wouldn't. They wouldn't want to entertain that. But I mean, I honestly don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I'm used to Rangers winning things, and I'm not saying that we would go to England and not win anything, but it would take a while for us to match the likes of Man City, Liverpool, Arsenal, the levels of money that we get. And I know, obviously, if you're playing in England, that all changes, but theoretically, it's a non-starter. And for me, the deal would need to be quite an enticing one, because I don't see the Premier League opening their doors to us to say, yes, come on in, let's come on into our top league and enjoy the rewards that we've managed to build up for ourselves. So in terms of, I get why people say it and stuff about because of the league and the country that we play football in, but for me, I don't think it would ever happen, and the deal would need to be spectacular.
No, it'll never happen. You could potentially see when these European leagues breaking away, like it nearly happened.
The Atlantic League or something,
which was years ago. But obviously, you had the one recently where all the teams were going to break away, and then it didn't happen. So, you never know that down the line. But the two of them won't go down to England. There's no chance. They wouldn't want them down there. It's more the baggage we've got in terms of the sets of fans going down there every week. It'd be utter chaos half the time. But they wouldn't want us. But good question anyway. But moving on, Carney, to a topic which I know you are slightly annoyed about. I know it's not really to do with my Gers. Well, it is to a point, but obviously we play Hearts on Sunday. Hearts were given half the allocation for Hampden. Shock horror, Hearts have not sold half the allocation. They are now coming out kind of begging the Hearts fans to buy tickets. Any man and their dog, basically, who is probably registered with Hearts on their online website, can get a ticket for it, which I think is ridiculous. I think all their season tickets should definitely get a ticket for it. But guys that don't go to games, they only go to a semi-final every so often. They shouldn't be going, can they? But it looks like Hearts aren't going to sell their tickets, and I don't know whether they get a fine for doing it or not, but I would assume the rest of it will get put to Rangers now. But it shows that this is the reason why these teams shouldn't get a half split, because they can't sell it.
Well, I also seen an article again. I don't know what truth was in it. It might even just been a snippet on Twitter that they're going to just accept the fine and not give the tickets back, which would be a bizarre thing to do. It really would be a bizarre thing to do. Well, obviously, I want them to hand it back because I'm about that close to getting a ticket. If there is another batch released, I am pretty much guaranteed to get a ticket. But as of right now, I don't have one. So this is why, mate. It's why we don't do it to try and flex our muscle, but unfortunately, in the way of the world, in the way of Scotland, there is more Rangers fans in the world than there is Hearts, and I don't agree with the fact that if you've bought a keyring from Hearts in 1996, then you can get a ticket for this game. I just don't understand how that's correct. I don't really get it, but I think they've sold, is it about 16,000 or something like that, I think?
Yeah. Yeah, actually, they actually released at one point that you can have, Hearts must have some sort of membership, and all you had to have was 5 points and you could get 2 tickets. I mean,
5
Rangers,
points?
you could get 2 tickets. Rangers, you can only get 1 ticket with us as long as you're on the scale or whatever it is with the Majors points. But I knew they wouldn't sell the tickets, Hearts.
No, they were never going to sell them. Of course they weren't. They do it all the time. It's like, again, I can understand why they do it, because they want to see the response from their supporters. They want to, of course, they want half the stadium filled with their own fans, but it's never going to happen. Aberdeen were proof that it was never going to happen, and yeah, we're now left with that will be a last kind of scramble. It was only 10 days to when's it, 21st?
Yeah, a week on Sunday. Yeah.
9 days, so they're going to make their mind up pretty soon. It's going to need to happen this week. So yes, I for one hope that the tickets come back so I can get a ticket. But this is, you're right, it's another reason why Scottish football just decide to try and hate itself to death instead of just going, okay, we'll accept 16,000, 17,000 tickets and the rest can go to Rangers. And I'm not, it's the same thing could happen if Hearts were playing Celtic. Do you know what I mean? That's exactly what should happen. What's happening? I've not heard anything from their side. What's happening? Have Aberdeen sold their tickets? Have they gave them back to
Aberdeen didn't get a 50-50 split with Celtic. Celtic
got the majority.
Did they not? Aberdeen didn't get it. No.
That sounds about right. Yeah, brilliant. Champion. Well done, SPFL board, yet again. Absolutely proving that you're right on the money with making decisions. So yeah, I hope they release more. I would quite like a ticket.
I think you will. I've said to you, Karen, I know you and Mr. Haymarch are kind of shiting yourselves.
We don't have a ticket, yeah.
I'm pretty sure you'll get one next week. I got my ticket through the post today, actually. And you know what it's like with Hampden. You put in what side of the ground you want to be, west, north, or south, whatever it is, and it's your Donald Duck where you are in that stand. So
please tell me you're row A. Please tell me you're row A.
Near enough. I'm row G, so I'm pretty close down the front, which is crap. So halfway line, but down the front. So I don't like the seats like that, especially when used to club deck. But aye, it is what it is. But yeah, I'm pretty sure they'll release another batch of tickets, Karen, and hopefully yourself and I can get a ticket for it as well.
I hope so.
But yes, I just seen something in the comments there from Snecky Bear, who is desperate for the Manscaped promotion. The podcast is brought to you by Manscaped. Did you know that one man every hour, every day is diagnosed with testicular cancer? With April being National Testicular Cancer Awareness Month, our friends over at Manscaped have partnered with the Testicular. I can't even say it, can I?
Testicular. It's not hard, mate. Come on.
Cancer Society to help spread awareness for men's health and early cancer detection. Visit manscaped.com to learn how to check yourself for early signs of cancer. And as always, you can use our promo code CLUB22 for 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com. You can perform simple routine self-checks at home while enjoying Manscaped products you use every day, like the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra. The Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra features 2 interchangeable safe blade heads a standard one for taking a little bit off the top, and a new foil blade to go smooth and sleek. With dual LED spotlights, you'll achieve better visibility, making every trim more precise and hassle-free. It's also waterproof. In addition to providing the right tools and solutions for comfortable and easy grooming, Manscaped is committed to raising awareness and giving support for fighters, survivors, and families impacted by testicular cancer. That is why they
well done, mate. Well done. I'm so proud of you.
$50,000 to the Testicular Cancer Society. Help save lives and balls by going over to manscaped.com and check yourself video. And while you're at it, grab 20% off and free shipping with code CLUB@22. Men's health and hygiene is the core of Manscaped. It is the essence of their cause. Manscaped's partnership with Testicular Cancer Society will raise awareness on an issue that impacts men of all ages. Shave to save.
Well done,
I don't know how I found it so hard to say testicular. It's like a mouthful, that.
Yeah, sorry for laughing over the top of quite a serious matter there, but you understand why.
It's one of those.
By the way, Ali's a very intelligent man. He's not thinking
for some reason tonight, my brain just could not say testicular. But there you go.
Oh, good. Gave me a laugh, mate, to be fair. No, look, just a side note and a serious note away from that, we are delighted to be partnered with Manscaped for this great awareness month, for the testicular cancer awareness month. Get yourself checked. It affects guys of all ages, and yeah, we are very happy to be partnered with Manscaped. So yes, thank you, everybody.
I never thought the word testicular would be so hard to say.
Right, you don't need to keep saying it just to prove you.
I know.
You're just saying it now to prove you can say it.
Seeing that, the problem is that the guys watching this is the spiel that you get from Manscaped.
I know.
There's so many words in it you think are red herrings. You're too busy thinking ahead of the spiel, if you know what I mean.
I tell you all the time though, I always trim it down. Like trust me, some of the stuff I'm like, I can't even get the lads to read that because it's very American. They're very much an American company. I mean, they sent us one through for what did they say, for St. Patrick's Day, and I was like, no, sorry, we won't be doing that. I'm sorry.
But yes, Manscaped, brilliant as always. I do love their I do love their products. But moving on to talk more about Rangers. One thing I thought I'd talk about, Carney, and I completely forgot about this guy. We were talking to the Old Firm about, in fact, it was the game before, it was Hibs, I think. We were talking about Kamar Roof in terms of would he play in that game? Wasn't seen on the bench. The Old Firm, we thought, would he appear on the bench? But there was one guy in amongst it all, Carney, I'll be honest, I completely forgot about. And it's bizarre saying it now because when he came in last season in January, whatever it was, he looked decent. But Nico Raskin, where is Nico Raskin? He's not injured. You thought him being Belgian, big fella as well, you thought there was maybe a link there he might play, but I don't think he fancies him at all. And he is way, way, way down the pecking order at the moment. He can't even get in the squad.
No, yeah, unless there's an issue there we're not 100% aware about, but Clement said that there wasn't, but he also said that about Kamar Roof, so I don't know how much I can fully believe that because neither have appeared. Either that or Dowles got himself out the closet. He seemed to have been locked in and put Raskin in his place, so nobody notices the difference. But yeah, weird one. That Raskin did look really good when he came in. He looked full of promise, really did. He looked like the correct type of player for us to be attracting to the club in terms of we could develop him and potentially sell him on for a significant fee. And we all kind of thought he was going to be that type of player. Since his injury and since he's come back, he's not really been the same. He's not really managed to find any sort of great form. He's not been particularly good. He's not really impressed any of us, I don't think. And he has found himself now very much down the pecking order, especially if he is fit and Dowell is getting a spot in front of him. The Belgian link's an interesting one, not going to lie. I think it's interesting to kind of put the two together because you would have thought there would be something in that. And I know he's been kind of flirting around the edges of maybe be getting a call up, even as in a friendlies for Belgium and stuff like that. So Yeah, just a bizarre one that he doesn't really seem to have found his groove since he came back from injury. I don't think he's in a position now where we might be thinking about moving him on, because I think he is that type of player that if he gets for example, if we get a pre-season under him, under Clement, maybe he finds a bit of form, maybe he features a wee bit more, and maybe Rangers do get the money kind of back for him. But he is one that seems to have just kind of fell through the net a little bit. Maybe it is just based on Clement seeing what he's seen in training and seeing what he's seen in games, and he's impressed with other people more than he is Raskin. And I kind of like that about Clement. I like Clement that I don't think he'll have his. To an extent, there'll be a few go-to guys, and you all know who I mean by that. Lundstrom obviously being one of them, Tav, Goldson, Butland, they're not going to really get dropped in any great hurry, I don't think, due to the kind of lack of real depth that we have with injuries and with the squad. But there'll be others that I don't think he's scared to go, nah, you're not doing it for me, so you're going to need to just bide your time or prove yourself to me in training. And maybe that's what Dill's done. Maybe Dill's come back into training and he's been absolutely superb, and Clement's went, you deserve your chance. And Dill's not really put a foot wrong, really, since he's the kind of brief cameos that he has made. I know the third goal against Celtic, the one we conceded, the third goal, I thought he could have done better. He was kind of out of position a little bit, and he struggled really to get back and have any great impact in breaking up their attacking phase of play. But that's the only real thing that I can highlight, and the only reason you're probably highlighting that is because he was the guy closest to the ball when they got the ball on the left hand side. But yeah, no, a weird one we're asking. I mean, you seen it when you sent me the quick agenda over. I was like, oh, that's a good point. Where is Raskin? We say that all the time. We're always going, where is, because where's Ben Davies? Nobody knows where is that Ben either. Davies? Nobody knows that either. What's your thoughts on Raskin?
If I'm being honest, Carney, I think he's on a list that will be moved on in the summer, because if he liked him, I think we'd have seen more of him. And what I know, he's had a few injuries this season, but what I've seen in Raskin this season, I think he's been extremely poor, to be honest. He broke into the Rangers team. We signed him in January. We weren't great at that point. He looked an upgrade in what we had. But this season, he's not kicked on at all. He was kind of touted as being an up-and-coming prospect, Karen, and a guy that we could, in terms of the model we want to do, bring in and sell on. But for me, I don't think he fancies him. And I honestly think he'll be on a list of players that we'll be shipping in the summer. You can get through who's going to be shipped in the summer in terms of guys we could potentially get money for. He's one. Hadji, I think, is another. I know there's reports Hadji's going to come back, but I can't see him getting in. He's done nothing out in Alaves. He's I can see him going. Ben Davies, as you said there, Canny, he'll go. So there's that, and then you've got guys that are on a contract. Ryan Jack, who's injured again, will go.
But I think he's done now. Really, I wouldn't pin your hopes in seeing Ryan Jack maybe back. And that's kind of sad that it's going to happen to him. I know Davis is way more of a legend than what Ryan Jack is. I'm not putting them both in the same bracket, but Ryan Jack deserved a better end of his career. And I'm not just because I'm a Ryan Jack fanboy. We've got to remember how good Ryan Jack was at times for Rangers. He was absolutely superb. But unfortunately, his injuries and the problems that he seems to be having with his calves they're not going away. They're not going away. So he's another one that I think I wouldn't expect to see Ryan Jack back for the rest of this season. It's a shame that.
Yeah. Paul in the comments, Lammers, yes, he will be going. And Lammers sums up a typical Rangers player, I think, that we sign a guy, comes to Rangers, absolutely hopeless, does nothing. The pressure, I thought, was too big for him. Goes away at Utrecht, Carney, and he's their main man over there, scoring goals for fun. And folk might say, we'll bring him back, but he'd never do it at Rangers. Some of these guys, I think, suit certain leagues. Sam Lammers plays for Utrecht, who really aren't expected to do very much. Mid-table team, maybe pushing for Europe or something, but that probably suits him, to be honest. So, he's another one that I think will go, Carney.
Absolutely, yeah. I've still got scars in my vocal cords from shouting at Lammers, mate. I'm not keen on seeing him coming back to Rangers. But yeah, you're right. He goes away and all of a sudden he's scoring, and you do start to look at it and go, what were we doing wrong? And he's come out and said that he was never really played as a number 9. But even at that, Lammers didn't fit. It was one of those signings that on paper might have made sense to some, and myself included. I was quite excited by the signing based on what I thought we could get out of him, but he fell flat. He fell absolutely flat, and he was a very, very, very poor signing for the money that we spent on him. And you're right, some players suit it, some players don't, and sometimes the weight of the jersey, as cliche as that is too much for them. And I don't think he really liked a couple of misplaced passes at Ibrox, and all of a sudden you're going to get hounded for it. But unfortunately, that's what we are, and that's what we demand as a support, as a fan base. So thanks, but no thanks, Mr. Lammers. Come back, collect your stuff that you claim that you've not come back to get because you were on holiday or something like that when the loan move was decided. But yeah, thank you, but it did not work out, and see you later.
Yeah, hopefully Rangers can recoup some of that.
Well, I think you get what you get 2.5 back from Utrecht. You're going to take it, aren't you? Yeah.
I think there'll be a lot of outgoings at Ibrox in summer, Carney. But come on, because there's a lot of guys out of contract on big wages. John Lewson's a conversation for another day. Probably will he maybe go as well. But yeah, I think there'll be a lot of players leaving. And there'll be quite a few players coming in Ibrox in the summer. I think it'll be quite an exciting time in the summer with Rangers in terms of what Clement wants to bring to Rangers. But we will need to wait till that time, to be honest. But let's preview an actual football game we're going to be playing.
Hopefully.
This Sunday. Hopefully. We're up to Dingwall. I know their weather's not great up there in Dingwall, but I'm sure the game will be on this Sunday. Honestly, every game from now on is must win. They're all cup finals. Celtic play tomorrow. I think Celtic play St Mirren, I think it is. At Parkhead. So I would expect them to win tomorrow and they'll stretch the league. So, yeah, it's big pressure for Rangers. We have to win. The pressure was yesterday because of the fiasco in Dundee, which Phil wasn't happy about because it usually would be today, but the pressure was Thursday. I'll be honest, Carney, the presser was all about Dundee and there was little about Ross County. The only thing I got out of the presser, and the main thing I look for in the presser is who's basically available to play. Diomandi's now injured. He's had surgery in his thumb, which means he can't play, which I found quite bizarre because your thumb, do you need that to play football?
I don't know. You need to
I don't know. Football. But I'll be honest, Carney, I don't know how you feel. I think Diomandi's been good when he's come in, but I think he'll be better next season with a pre-season under him. But for me, I was pulling him out of my team this weekend anyway, regardless. So I think it might be a slight blessing in disguise that he's maybe missing this weekend's game. I don't know what your thoughts are.
Yeah, well, I think the first half, not that anybody covered themselves in glory in the Old Firm in that first half for sure, but he wasn't great at all. I thought the game was kind of passing him by. There has been times where I've thought you're slightly frustrating me, if that makes sense. You're kind of slightly frustrating me with what you're doing. Sometimes it's loose passes, and it's just wee bits and bobs where I thought you're not quite there yet. You're not quite there. And look, he hadn't played quite a lot of football when he was coming off an injury as well when he joined us. That's right, isn't it? Yeah, I'm sure he was coming off an injury when he joined us. So I think, yeah, you're probably right. I think I'd have probably put him out this weekend as well. Not that I want MD to be injured. It is going to be short term because it's a kind of small operation, and maybe a wee rest will do him good. But you're probably right. I think we'll probably see more over next season from him. You would like to think as he settles as well. We've got to remember we forget sometimes that footballers are human beings, and it takes a wee bit of time to adjust to living in a different country. Especially when where games of football get called off because it rains, so he might need a wee bit more time to settle himself down, get himself used to his surroundings, used to his teammates. But I still think there's a player in there. Don't get me wrong. I think some of the flashes he's shown have been superb. I think the goal that he scored from outside the box, an absolute screamer, great goal. But yeah, there's certain bits of these games that have crept in recently where you're like, you're not quite there. You're not quite there. So I'm hoping that it's not too serious an injury because I think he will be back probably for the midweek game against Dundee in the local swimming bath, and we'll hopefully see more from him though next season. But you're right. I think I would have probably dropped him this weekend anyway.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what our teams are. But Ross County, looking at Ross County, not a great season. They're sitting second bottom. The only reason they're not bottom is because Livingston are absolutely terrible this season. Livingston are something. I think they're about. I think they're 27. About 9 points above Livingston, who are rock bottom. Livingston will get relegated this season. I know you
Yes,
are
they
kind of.
will.
There was a podcast, Carrie, where you
Okay,
didn't realise
yes,
where Livingston.
yeah. I just a complete brain fart, mate. Guys messaged me after it, going, "What were you talking about with Livingston?" I was like, "I don't know where that came from." I've got no
Yeah,
idea where it came
yeah.
from. I know Livingston will get relegated. Yes,
Yeah, Livingston's a set to go down.
nightmare.
Above Ross County, St Johnstone and Aberdeen. I think St Johnstone's 4 points clear of Ross County. So Ross County need. That's a cup final for them as well. Ross County, they need points. Ross County to try and claw themselves up the league table. It'll be interesting to see who we pick in terms of teams, but Rangers just need to go up and win for me, Carney. That's all they need to do at the end of the season. I don't care if it's not pretty. They just need to win games of football. That's what they need to do from the end of the season. Because as I said, I fully expect. I know Celtic haven't been clever at home this season, and they have dropped a few points to teams that you wouldn't expect. But I would expect Celtic to win at Parkhead on Saturday. I know they've got a couple of players back in terms of Hatate and McGregor and that, so I would expect them to win. But I don't know what your thoughts going up to Sunday is, but just win, Rangers. That is all you have to do.
100%, mate. Just win games of football now. That's it. It's not really about performances. It's just getting over the line. I would like convincing performances to try and ease my heart rate as much as I can, because watching Rangers right now is very stressful. It is very stressful. The slightest of little mishaps, and all of a sudden the kind of the heart rate races. But yeah, I agree, mate. It's just win games of football. I think we need to. As hard as it is right now to not look at the other side of the city and what they do, we have to concentrate on ourselves, and that is so cliche, but I think it's so true. We just have to keep winning football games. At the end of the day, I've said if we match their results, then we get a draw at Parkhead, we will be champions. It's as simple as that. We just have obviously winning the game in hand, wherever it may take place. All we have to do is, well, as I say, all we have to do, but we just need to match the results. But I don't think that's really the way to approach it. I think Clement will not even be thinking about it like that. He'll be thinking to himself, okay, it's not been an ideal week in terms of preparation because of the fiasco with Dundee. But he even mentioned that during the press conference, somebody asked if has one of your players come up and expressed concerns about playing on the pitch at Dundee, and he said no, they wouldn't dare do that because they wouldn't be playing for me for the rest of the season. And I was like, whoa. I was like, "You're no way you're going to cross the big man. That's for sure." Big Phil's not putting up any of that at all. So I found that very interesting, and I thought that was quite insightful as well. That I think he's right. The players just want to play football. It's not ideal. I don't think any of them would have been particularly delighted to. I mean, they'd probably got a day off if the game had been cancelled previously, or when it should have got cancelled and not let the team travel up to Dundee. So they're missing times away from home or times away from family or whatever. So that's not ideal. But look, I think it's just all about us just now, mate, and it really is. That the kind of old firm has to be forgot about as quickly as possible, and we have to never play as bad as we did again in that first half, and we should be okay. We hit anywhere near the level that we hit in the second half in the old firm, mate, we should be absolutely fine on Sunday. But it's just win the game by any means necessary. You win that game, and hopefully the rest takes care of itself.
Yeah, Rangers should beat Ross County. I mean, I see Blue Nose John put in there. The last time Rangers played Ross County was at Ibrox. It was at Valentine's Day one.
Was that not? That's the game that had we had like 40 something shots. What was it? I'm going to need to look up the stats for that quickly. I'm sure we had ridiculous stats for that game.
Yep, Rangers had 43 shots in that game.
43 shots, yeah.
And it was one each, and Dessers scored in the 44th, 45th minute or something of the first half to make it 2-1, and then we didn't score to John Sutton in the 90 odd minutes, whatever it was, to make it 3-1. But yeah, Rangers battered Ross County that day. So yes, if Rangers could repeat that up at Ross County, but put the ball back in the net, I'd be absolutely delighted with that. But honestly, I don't care. I don't care if Rangers win 1-0 and it's in the 91st minute. My heart probably wouldn't like that, but just win the game, Rangers. That is all. There's JD there, 43 shots, 23 and target 20 corners.
20 corners.
You can take the 20 corners away because Rangers
They
getting
don't mean
corners
anything.
is
No, that's true. They don't mean anything. That's true. That is true.
Yeah, so let's go on to teams' scores and first goal scorer. I'll go first, Carney. My team, what I said against Dundee is the exact same. So I'm going for Butland, Tav, Goldson, Suter, Sterling, Lundstrom, Dowell, Cantwell, Seamer, Dessers, and Sterling. And I'm going to stick with my goal master the same.
Sorry, have you got two Sterlings that play for us?
Did I say Sterling twice there?
You said Sterling at left back, yeah.
What did I bell? Did I put it right side as well?
You put your last person you said there was Sterling.
Right, McCausland.
The left back was Sterling also.
We might have two Sterlings either though.
The professional podcast, mate. I say it all the time.
I think that's because I want Sterling on the right hand side. I don't want him at left back, but he has to play left back. So that's probably what I was thinking that. But no, Sterling will be left back, and on the right hand side for me, I think McCausland might come in. So I think that's what I would play, and I'll go 2-0 Rangers, and yeah, I'll stick with Dessers, what I said during the week. So Dessers to score first.
So you're starting Seaman on the left, McCausland on the right, Dessers to the middle. Is that correct? And you're dropping Lawrence.
Yes.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I would go with your front five. I think Sterling will play on the right hand side. And I think Barisic will play. Yeah, not that I particularly want Barisic to play, but I do think he will play because I think Sterling offers him too much further up the pitch. Not that I think he was particularly bad. He got himself kind of caught in a muddle for the third goal. Him and Suter had a bit of a coming together for the third goal. But one of the interceptions that he made, actually, as well, on after watching the game back for the Old Firm, Sterling's interception when he got into the box he actually hurt himself while he did it. A fantastic tackle, a last-ditch tackle, absolutely superb. He's not scared to get himself about. So I think, based on the fact that it's Ross County in the second bottom, I think Barisic will play at left back. I think Sterling will play on the right, Seamer on the left, Dessers through the middle, midfield the same, and the rest the same. I will go for 3-0 Rangers, and I'll go for Dessers to score 2, and that'll get Jamie's 10 goals, I think. Is that 10? Would that be 10? Yeah, that will be 10.
I was asked that today, how many goals Dessers is on, and he's on 18, isn't he? So is it 18 he's on?
Yeah, I don't know. You tell me. 18? Yeah, you're better than
Jamie will tell us.
Jamie will tell us. Somebody in the comments will tell you in 2 seconds.
Somebody will tell us, but for Jamie's 10 goals, whatever he wants, he will get 2 goals between now and the end of the season. Cyril Dessers, definitely. I did see Clement, was that a week or so ago, saying something about Cortez and Danilo may have a slight chance of coming back, which I laughed at, to be honest, because there's absolutely no chance they will be back for the end of the season.
Well, to finish up then, Cortez, from what you've seen of him, do Rangers exercise their option to buy, or do you think that we don't and we let him go back to his parent club?
It's difficult because we were playing Cortez on. Was he left hand side? Cortez was playing
left hand side. Yeah,
he was playing the left hand side. So the argument, well, not the argument for me, is you get Seamer and you get Cortez, who are both really playing on the left hand side. I know Seamer came on and played on the right. I'd be interested to see Seamer more on the right to see if that could work. But with Cortez in particular, I liked him, Carney. I liked him. He looked like a proper winger. He was direct. He could score goals. But you don't know what he's going to be like after an injury. The ideal one for me, Carney, with Cortez would be, could we get him on loan next season with an option again? That's what I would be looking at.
That's quite smart, Alistair. Are you the new director of football? That's quite smart, actually. Yeah, the thought of maybe getting him on another year to kind of weigh him out again. As I say, does his contract not run out though at the end of that year?
I don't think so, because
Lawrence
or something signed him, so I don't think so. Yeah.
Another year after that. So no, that's probably quite a good shout, mate, to be honest. If we could get exactly the same deal again, then I think that would be a good one to exercise and see if we can get a bit more out of him. Hopefully he doesn't get a bad injury. That's very good, Alistair. Well done. I hate giving you praise as well, but well done, Alistair. You need to email Clement that. Make sure you email that over to Big Phil and see if he's interested in that.
I'm sure he's probably made his mind up. Come on, to be honest on him.
Yeah, one thing we glossed over quickly as well, Sima as well. I would try and sign him.
It depends what the money is for him. It depends. I like Sima. He's got power. He's got pace. He can score goals. He's frustrating at sometimes, to be honest, Sima. But you'll get that with a winger. He can play multiple positions. He can play through the middle. He can play left. He can play right, as we're talking about there as well. So depends what the price is, Carney, for him. Because just Sima 22 or something. So he's a guy that we could play, develop, and make some money on. So if the money's right for him, yeah, I would. But I think there's other areas of the park, Carney, that Rangers will be looking for players. I think the centre halves is a big position for us in the summer. But obviously we can discuss that at a later date. But Sima, if the money's right and it's not stupid money, yes, I'd buy him. Would you?
Me too, 100%. Yeah, absolutely. But especially with his contract running down now, I think if Rangers could strike up a deal that suited both parties and it wasn't a ridiculous amount of money, then yeah, I would like to see Sima stay. Silva, no, I wouldn't. I think we've said that. I don't think he's shown me enough to think that he would be worth even an extended loan. I think it would be too much. I think that there's the price that's involved with him in terms of wages. No, I don't think he's right for the Scottish game. And quickly before we finish, we didn't really mention either. There's going to be a lot of clamour for Connor Goldson to get dropped. Do you think there's any risk of that at all, that he won't play on Sunday?
No.
Same.
Yeah, my theory on it is, I know Goldson's not been great recently, and he hasn't. I've stuck up for Goldson this season because he's been a lot of folk. I think a lot of folk made their mind up to Goldson years ago, if I'm being honest about Carney. Similar to Tav, if you want to say. But I'll agree with people, he has not been great recently, Connor Goldson. He's been very poor. But you look at it and go, who do you bring in? Do you put Suter to the right side and put Balogun in? Ben Davies, we've not seen. We don't know where he is. Young Leon King, again, we've not seen. So Connor Goldson will play. Connor Goldson, like I said, is a discussion for the summer, Carney, because he's been at Rangers for since Gerrard came in. So he's been there a while. Connor Goldson, he's over 30 now, so he's a discussion for the summertime. I was speaking to actually Stuart at my work today, and he was saying he would like to see Rangers bring in a centre half with pace, a guy that could get us out of jail, because we don't really have any centre halves with pace at the moment. So I thought that was a good shout for him. But in the summer, if somebody came in for an offer for Goldson this summer, I think Rangers would be up for doing business.
Yeah, I agree. I do 100% agree. I don't think he'll get dropped either. I really don't. I don't think it's fair to put Balogun in either, because he's hardly played football really since Clemence came in. So I don't think it'd be fair. Goldson will start, but yeah, I think it is a conversation for summer.
Yeah. So get in your cupping for Goldson to score the first goal by a header, by a corner kick. I'd love to see the odds of that for the weekend, by the way. That would be
100 million to 1, yeah.
But no, that is us nearly at the hour mark, Carney. So just the two of us there. So a couple of bloopers in there tonight, as always, unprofessional. But I think folk enjoy that. So yes, I would like to thank everyone in the comments tonight, everyone for their questions as well. And last but not least, my only guest tonight, Mr. Scott Carney.
Yeah, thank you, mate. No problem. You go away and read that dictionary, mate, and try and learn how to pronounce words. That would be great. And do a few memory games as well, so you don't name Rangers players twice. That'd be brilliant. No, I'm only joking. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in tonight. Looking forward to Sunday. Hopefully the game does go ahead. I don't think there's any danger of it not going ahead, but looking forward to seeing Rangers. And over to you, Rangers. I stole it from you.
You have stole it from me there, Carney. Yes, I completely agree. It is over to Rangers. Just win Rangers. That is all we ask. But yeah, we'll be back on Sunday. I don't know who'll be back. It'll be some of us anyway with a match reaction to hopefully Rangers beating Ross County at Dingwall on Sunday. But yes, thanks very much for everyone tonight. We have been Club at 22, the Rangers podcast, and we will see you on Sunday.